Hi, I'm Jimena Lopez,
I'm Gawrys.
and today we're going to talk about whistleblowing in accounting. So, just to start off, we're going to give a brief introduction. So, whistleblowing is defined as the disclosure by organization members, former or current, of illegal, immoral, and illegitimate practices under the control of their employers, the parties and organizations that may be able to affect action. So, usually, accountants shouldn't disclose any information about their clients' or employers' financial records. But there can be situations that arise that call for certain actions to be exposed. We'll go more in depth next. We're also going to go over the benefits of whistleblowing, like being able to sleep at night and stopping corporate fraud. Lastly, we're going to go over the decision-making process that potential whistleblowers goes through and the decisions management has to make when they have a whistleblower come out. Rules and exceptions. The golden rule of accounting, like I mentioned before, is that you don't disclose financial information. But like most rules, there's always exceptions. Here are some exceptions that are explicit in the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, IICPA, auditing standards. One of the more important ones in this list is releasing info in connection with an official professional ethics inquiry. In the case of funds versus Arthur Andersen, they should have acted on this exception. So Andersen had audited funds and found no issues. That same team and Andersen went on to audit King Resources and saw that they had dealings with funds, and those dealings were not fair. Andersen had two choices. One, keep quiet, or two, break confidentiality with King and tell funds. They chose to keep quiet. Funds ended up finding out, sued, and won against Andersen for $50 million. In the contract between Andersen and funds, Andersen was bound to tell funds of any irregularities that came to their attention immediately. So next, Esther is going to talk about the benefits of whistleblowing.
So, the main benefit of whistleblowing is that it stops corporations from knowingly committing fraudulent activity. As Griffith stated, it provides an invaluable public service, often at great personal and professional sacrifice and peril. So, since whistleblowing has grown in the recent years, the SEC has created a division to handle this. Without the SEC, whistleblowers would have a harder time dealing with these issues that arise from potential fraudulent activity. For example, companies can put pressure on the employee to sweep this activity under the rug, which in turn will ruin an employee's career. Employees can also suffer from retaliation from their company if they attempt to whistleblow. It is easier for fraudulent activity to be ignored if it was only up to the company to handle internal problems with their own ethical program and anti-retaliation code. So this is why the SEC is so important. They provide a place for whistleblowers to come forward and share any potential fraudulent activity. Next, Jimena will discuss the moral dilemma that comes with whistleblowing.
So like Esther mentioned, the whistleblower is put in a pool of moral dilemmas. In the chart shown, it gives a very simplified course of action that the whistleblower can go through and the repercussions of said actions. If they speak up, they show obedience to the ethical culture of their company and firm and loyalty to the organization and the public. If they stay silent, they show great intentional disregard for the company's interests and show loyalty to their manager, or whoever higher up in them is committing those fraudulent acts.
So the manager also faces a sea of decisions. They have a duty to protect the company and the company's assets. Also, under the law and moral obligation, they're expected to protect the whistleblower, despite the direct damage their words could cause the company. So, based on all of this information we've discussed, there are a few points we hope that you take away from this about whistleblowing. One, that internal problems that are big enough to potentially be considered fraudulent activity should not be ignored or taken lightly. Most corporation companies have internal controls and anti-retaliation programs to deal with internal issues. You should go through the basic process of handling issues within your company by going up the chain of command and so forth. However, if your company is unwilling to help fix this issue, and especially if there's any pressure put on you as the employee to sweep this information under the rug, then the SEC is a valuable resource for you to come forward with this information. They will protect you from retaliation and they will protect your career. Whistleblowing, when exercised in its proper form, has been and will continue to be a positive influence in the accounting community, and it can stop a company from committing fraud, especially at a large scale.
And that's our presentation.